عميم عال عمام روح وسلم يا حمام يا حمام روح وسلم ع حبي وباقي العمام روح وسلم على المحبوب وعود لي من قبل غروب مني خد له هالمكتوب واهدي له حب السلام يغزيل ظل قبالي شوف اللي جرى بحالي بعدك يا عيني غالي طل علينا وقربها يغزيل ظل قبالي شوف اللي جرى بحالي بعدك يا عيني غالي طل علينا وقربها.
We have been working here since 2010 and now we are involved in a long-term collaboration with Ramallah, which is really great because when the first time we were here in 2010 we met the dancers and the Sariye team, and also we were part of the festival, and we did I think just a short workshop, and just from this workshop there was so much interest and we realized that there was this hunger for more continuous possibilities, for training, for exchanges, for performance work, to work as a professional dance artist. The dance scene that was already here, we found it very, very strong.
Why?
I think it has this own very creative energy with really, really intense momentum. We found dancers extremely self-driven and self-motivated. So it's extremely fun and thankful to work with.
But also, I think it's no coincidence, like also Sariye Ramallah had mentioned today, that it's because dance and art is a very important tool to create a more diverse society and a more, Sariye Ramallah's aim is also to have a more liberal society. So it means that the dancers, that if you take the choice to dance here and to work as a professional or to join the community of dance, you are immediately joining on a secular, more liberal community. So I think that this is also something that gives the dedication and the importance to the dance practitioners working. And that will be important in all societies, but somehow the society here, it's more, we are from Norway, so in Norway we also have conflicts with the society in general as such, or problematics, but we don't think about it because in general it's moving quite smoothly. But here it's a very different situation, so all of a sudden as an artist you have a key role in a big democratic project. So I think that this is also the importance of Sariye Ramallah and the importance of dance here.
And also there is a very, very long history of dance here, so it's not like something that just came out of the blue. It's really embedded in the social life, in the cultural life. It has very strong roots, a very strong tradition. Sariye Ramallah has had various dance companies since 1980. And we were doing a workshop earlier this week, and we asked the dancers, but are there any offers for, let's say, a 17 or 20-year-old who's never done dance before to come in to do classes here at Sariye? And they're like, but everyone's done dance before, So they're like, it's so embedded in the social life. So I think this also makes it somehow part of the already existing culture.
So you believe that you are helping to overspread their mentality about art, about culture. You give them more signs, more things to think about and express. Do you see that happening in their movement, in the feedback that you receive from them?
I think firstly, just like help is a really bad word because it kind of creates this hierarchy, that we are coming to help, which for us this project is not about that at all. It's more about we meet as equals, as artists, as colleagues, and from there we work together. But in this meeting point, there is so much. There is a really great potential.
mean, you are from Greece, no? So you've been going through quite a tough situation yourself. And what happens, you know, an artist community will benefit from sustainability in terms of support. So both for us and for Sariyet, it will help to have this 3-year project where we know that this money is coming in, now you can start planning. And I think that that is something for independent of where the art community is placed. That is a great contribution. Yeah, and I think for us now we have the opportunity with Silijeholm Ramallah to think very differently. Because we know we are going to be here for 3 years, we know that there will be performance projects happening, and we are freelancers, you know, so we are used to working project to project and not knowing if this project can happen or... I think now we know, all of us, and this is a really exciting position to be in, and very rare. And that I think that most artists, unless you have like funds for the next 10 years, will recognize themselves in this exact situation.
But to be given this stability of 3 years, it creates really a trajectory where you can somehow imagine much longer than 3 years, which is also really...
So there is a high potential.
Very high potential, yeah.
And I think this project is also very much about that, because each community of dancers or artists cannot function exactly the same way, because it is different spaces with the different politics and with this different structure. So this is something that we are very excited to like twist our head around. Now it's like, okay, but how should a freelance professional dancer's environment function at its best here in Palestine? And I think that this is also why Sara was like, oh, it's important that we say we are not here to help, because the way the art scene is functioning in Norway can function because it is in Norway, can function because it's a super safe society that still pushes funds through arts. But you cannot apply that structure to here or to Greece. I think that this opens the potential for thinking, and innovation is a really used word, but it's a little bit like that you really have to, okay, you have your knowledge, you have your experience, and now you have to shift it.
Is that a big shift, or you find a lot of things in common?
Of course, there is. I mean, a dance, if you compare it to art, or like if you compare it to theater, dance is a very global. It's easy to travel with because you're not constricted by language, like text. So we are very mobile. All dancers are very mobile. Also, you see that in societies that are perhaps more restricted by freedom of speech, for example, dance often can function alongside exactly because you don't have language. So for censorships and things like that, you can get by. So this is also... But in general, for dance, you have your certain methods of working, certain techniques that everybody learns from each other also in a global way. And then you have specialities, like here you have the folklore dabke that we just saw. And the Palestinian dabke, that's already different from the Lebanese dabke or the Iraqi dabke. But we are all working with the bodies. And so this is also what we share, and there is certain methods for composition that we also share, and ways of thinking about society and perspectives that I think is general for all dancers.
But also I think for us, when we came here, when we were here in 2010, we actually also found that we had a lot of artistic interest points, that artistic interests with the dancers we met were overlapping, and this is also, it kept the dialogue warm, because even though maybe you share methods with many artists, you still find some where you connect more on exactly what we are interested to work in, how are we interested to work. And here it was, they were overlapping already the first time we met, which is a really great starting point. And it doesn't mean we're the same, it doesn't mean we have the same experience, but it means it creates a really good possibility to move somewhere together.